So this is going to be a little presentation-y, but it's going to be a little open-ended too. We'll write some software together and probably some bugs too. We'll see how it goes. Okay. So we're going to talk about making games. So first of all, who am I? Okay, if you've never seen me before, that's my picture. I don't know. I guess that's helpful. But anyway, I'm Paul Millam. I work at WildWorks. That's downtown in Salt Lake. And we make MMOs for kids is basically what I do. So we make web games, we make mobile, things like that. And so that cute little, I don't even know what that is, snow leopard or I don't know, something. Anyway, you can be one of those and you can put on clothes and dance and stuff like that. So that's what I do during the day. So I make Animal Jam. Specifically at Animal Jam, I make a lot of tools. So we need a lot of things to help moderate our community. Like if you've ever seen kids play online, they never do anything bad, ever, right? That was a lame joke. So they do lots of bad things. And, worst case scenario, you have adults posing as kids, and that can be dangerous. And so I make tools to look out for those things, do things to streamline our processes, like manage our asset pipeline, things like that. So when you think about game developers, a lot of times you always think about, it's the person writing the client, like the game client code. And those are definitely game developers, but there's a lot that goes on behind the scenes behind that too. Okay, and I really like just making random, terrible games that no one likes. So that's the other thing I do. So this is one thing that we've made recently. We call it Animal Jam Desktop, but basically we had a web game, Animal Jam. I could probably show it to you here. So we've got this web game called Animal Jam, and it's pretty cool. So maybe think, I don't know, World of Warcraft for preteen girls. So that's about about the coolest thing, like next to Halo, right? But so anyway, so it was written in Flash though. It's actually pretty old, and we started working on it, I don't know, 7 years ago or something. So it's actually been pretty long-lived, especially for a game. But Flash it's like this upcoming technology. Everyone's going to start using it, right? So we needed a way when people visited the website, if they didn't have Flash installed, we needed an option for them. And so what we did is we built an Electron app that just basically bundles the Flash player in with it and loads our game. So that's one of the things I work on. My team built that. And it's kind of cool. So you can download that, you can install it, you can play. It's fun. I work on a lot of tools though. So these are single page applications. I really like using web components. I think they're awesome. And they're super simple, which is great. I like JavaScript. That's a cool language. Node.js. And like I mentioned, I do community moderation stuff and asset management, those kind of things. I've made a lot of games too. I've probably too many to count. Just random stuff. So these are just kind of fun little things I've done recently. I created this Pets vs. Phantoms game. So the Phantom is something in Animal Jam. They're these little ghosty things that come and attack animals. And this other one is called Robot Needs Love. There's not really a good explanation for that, really. But I'll give you an example, kind of a taste of kind of the stuff I like to do. So here, let's restart this. Can you see it? Oh man, all the sounds aren't working. Anyway, make some pew pew noises in your head. Pew, 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 pew. Okay. Anyway, so basically this robot's in love with this terminal, and you have to get these batteries so it doesn't power down. So you can shoot these batteries out of your butt, which is kind of cool. But anyway, I don't know. This is kind of, I like video games. Now, a long time ago, computers were invented, and they're invented to make games, right? And then people repurposed them to fly to the moon and all these stupid things. But games are a lot of fun. You should have fun with them. And that's part of what I want to talk about today. We'll get more into that later. And Pets vs. Phantoms, that's pretty fun too. That's a little Plants vs. Zombies-ish game. So I've worked on a lot of different games. Oh, these GIFs aren't playing. Hang on. There we go. Heck yeah. Okay. So I started making games in Flash, and I worked on consoles a long time ago. I didn't do too much console coding. I did game design back then, but I did a little bit, and that was in C++. So I made some really cool games like Alvin and the Chipmunks for the Nintendo DS. I don't know if you've ever listened to Love Shack by the Chipmunks like over 500 times in a day. I have. Anyway, so I was working in Flash, and I've started working in HTML5. It's been years ago now. But I want to talk a little bit about like what games are. This is the coolest part of games, I think, and it has nothing to do with the technology. Okay, they can be a lot of things. Games is even a bad word for it, I think, a lot of the times. You know, like you're just building something that somebody should get something out of. A lot of the times, you know, games are designed to be addictive or something like that. We just want, you know, the players' money. That's not optimal, in my opinion. I think games can do a lot. I think I hate to use the word art. That's a little cliche, but I think people can get something from these programs. I think, you know, this software has something to give to the world, and it can be awesome. It can be fun. But they can be whatever you want. They can be totally ridiculous, too. Okay, I made a game where you have to like pee on a fire to put it out, right? That's not War and Peace, right? You're not going to get anything out of that. But I don't know, it's fun. And the other thing I want to get across is who can code? Raise your hand if you can code. Okay, if you didn't raise your hand, then just raise it anyway. Okay, so if you can code, you can make games. Okay, and we're going to prove that right now. So does everyone here know HTML and JavaScript? Good. So we're going to make a sample game real quick. So I'm going to prove to you that you can do it right now. Who's made a game? Can you raise your hands? Oh, good. Okay, good.
Modern language, but
so that's okay. So we're just going to make something really simple. So I'm just going to make a folder here, best game ever. Okay. Let's open that up in Atom. There's going to be a lot of live coding, so it'll be great. Okay. So we're just going to start with an index HTML. Okay. Is that good? Is that good? Good. Okay. Okay. So this is just HTML code. I don't know if I did that. No. Okay. All right. So let's go ahead and let's make something fun. Click me to win. Okay. Then we're going to do some state-of-the-art code here. On click. Sure, let's try that. What should this say?
you win.
Okay.
You lost.
Okay, very good. Okay. So this is not anything new to anyone, right? Well, if it is, then I don't know. You're a really good talker. I don't know how you got into your job, but let's open this up. If I have any embarrassing photos or something, don't look at them. Okay, so let's load this up. What? Okay.
You broke it.
I know. This game. Okay. So now let's maybe go like that a little bit. Bam. Okay. So that's pretty cool, right? But that's not maybe not really a game at this point. So that's kind of fun. You get to interact with this button, but this is no different than the garbage code you get paid to write every day, right? So let's spice it up a little bit, right? I'm kind of an offensive person, so just forgive me and let's move on. Okay, so let's go ahead and just put some on here. Let's get rid of the margins. Let's get some. Who likes light themes and who likes dark themes? Does anyone like light themes for tools or anything? I hate them. Oh, okay. Sorry. That wasn't a raise your hand situation. Okay, so that looks a little bit better. Okay, but not super fun. All right, but what if we threw something in here? let's just set an interval, if I can type that, and then let's, I don't know, let's do something. Let's do it every second. And let's do, it's just a button. No, let's do then we'll do button.style dot transform equals, this is about to get exciting, okay? Translate. Let's just see if this works first. Oh, that's not going to work. Yeah, so let's just see if this works right now. Just make sure we're on the right track here. Boom. Okay, so that's cool. Okay, nobody's impressed. But let's spice it up a little bit, right? Okay. Okay, so this is getting kind of cool, right? It's still kind of easy. It's still kind of easy to win. Okay, but I mean, at this point, we actually kind of have a game, right? So we have some objective the player's trying to achieve, and it's almost kind of fun to play. So let's, why don't we do like window dot inner width. There. See if that works. Okay, so that's a little jazzier, right? Yeah. Okay. But the cool thing about making a game is, like, you sit down, you play your Nintendo, and like years has gone into crafting this experience and making sure it's fair to you. They're meting out the experience in, you know, just the perfect manner, so you're enjoying yourself and everything. But you can just be a jerk if you want, right? Like, yeah, I mean, you can do whatever you want. This is like the really kind of fun part of the game. But this is kind of annoying. It's jumping everywhere. Let's just do like a transition, translate. It's transform, you're right. Yeah, that did not work. What did I do? Translate. Somebody help me. No, what? This is supposed to be transition, and this is supposed to be transform, right? Oh, jeez, I already broke the game.
Why don't you just set your...
so we just do all properties? It's moving too fast.
Why don't you change your...
You have 10 milliseconds, 100 milliseconds.
It's on the body. Dang it. Okay. No, I legit... That was a bug. Woo! Okay. So that's a little more game-like, right? We have like a smooth animation running around. And now it might be kind of fun to actually try to click on this guy, right? I can't even do it. Oh, heck yeah. Okay. Okay. But so now, you can tweak this and you can kind of make the game however you want. Anyway, so this is absolutely nothing new. We made a game, and this is just CSS and JavaScript, right? And so that's the things you kind of need to be thinking about. Like, you don't necessarily have to learn a framework or anything like that. Now, you can, and you probably should. But if you want to make a game, just make a game, right? Just think of something fun. And it can, hopefully it's better than this game we've made here, but I don't know, this one's pretty good. Screw it. Okay, so anyway, point is, you can make games with stuff you know right now. Okay, so I mentioned this earlier. It's actually kind of hard to make video games. If you want to make anything complex, like if you want to make anything that's certainly 3D or even most 2D stuff, it's actually pretty tough. Who likes Zelda? I didn't get any laughs out of that. All right, anyway. So there's a lot of engines out there, and these are extremely helpful. These are really going to help you build stuff. So I don't know if this is Godot or Godot. I don't know. Anyway, so that's a pretty cool engine. It's not JavaScript. It's not based on web technology. Or Unity is the same way, or Unreal. These are very advanced professional engines. Godot is kind of a newer thing, but certainly Unity. This is probably the most popular thing out there. Everybody uses Unity. Okay, you'd probably be hard-pressed to find a game company that hasn't at least flirted with Unity. But one of the cool things about these is almost all of them compile to web now, which is really cool because the web, it's a tech stack, but it's also a platform, right? Especially with WebAssembly, we're seeing everything under the sun is going to compile to the web, which is great. I think that's the wave of the future, actually, really, is just things compiling to WebAssembly, which is going to be super, super exciting. I like WebAssembly, if you couldn't tell. But there are also JavaScript native engines. Phaser is a really cool open source one. These things are cool because they're going to handle all these complex game systems for you. If you have a game, there's a high chance you're going to want like collision, you're going to want some event system, you're going to want a rendering engine, audio, and you're going to want all of those things to smooth over the web APIs. Probably even cross-browser, right? So these things are really, really useful. I also have a game engine I wrote myself. And this is probably, I don't know why any of my links aren't working. Hold on, let's get this game out of there, as good as it is. So I'm not suggesting you actually use this, but it's completely possible to just write your own game engine too if you want. This is a simple entity component game engine that I wrote. And it's just 2D, so you're not going to like make any awesome games with this. But like the robot game I made with that, Pets vs. Phantoms, lots of little game jam games I do. I just make with this, and so it's pretty fun stuff. Oh, here I got Pets vs. Phantoms too. This is exciting. Have you guys played Plants vs. Zombies? Okay. It starts out kind of slow, but this kitty's going to drop a heart. Trust me. Come on, baby. You know what else is unbelievable? Is I did all this art myself. Is that cool or what? Okay, anyway. So, I mean, simple stuff, but it was just I just made this for like a company party just to have fun. I just knocked it together pretty quick. But these things are just, I don't know, they're fun to make. And if you get into games, you should have fun. You should like making these things. And a lot of the times it's helpful to have a goal in mind. Like, are you making games because you want to make money? If it is, that's only slightly more realistic than starting your own rock band. So I'm not sure I would really recommend that. But if you're just doing it for fun, there's lots of stuff you can do. Here, I'll get this out of here. The other thing was there's this is kind of cool. Hold on, let's see if I can. So there's this game jam called a 0 hour game jam. So the challenge is you have to make a game in 0 hours. That doesn't make any sense, right? Except, when the time change happens, you have this hour that is suddenly erased, right? So the game jam happens, you start and you work for an hour, and then when the time reverts, you act like you made a game in 0 hours. Okay, anyway, but this is kind of fun. Have you guys played Portal? So it's an amazing game. Anyway, so this was slightly inspired by this. So kind of like a sentient computer system that hates you. Anyway, this is all just built out of DOM elements, the whole game is. And so there's nothing really fancy there, right? It's a pretty fun little puzzle game that I made. And I actually didn't make it in 0 hours. It was more like 3 or something. I don't know. But anyway, if you want to make something, just go ahead and make it. Like you can make it with the skills you know already. Some fun tools I would recommend are Aseprite. This is a cool little pixel art tool. And pixel art lends itself really well to just simple games. You can make passable things even if you are a programmer. JavaScript is cool because it's this really sloppy language you can just knock stuff together with. Oh, I think that's funny. Okay. But that's fun. And then sound effects, you can get some cool retro sound effects out of BFXer. There's also variants called SFXer, things like that. Tiled is cool too. So lots of games are built with tile maps. And so you have just these little pieces laid out on a grid system. And this is a cool open source tool that'll help you visually lay out your levels or games, things like that. And you can spit out in all these different formats, a JSON file, whatever you want. Okay, so let's actually make something. So we're going to do a little more live coding, and hopefully it'll be something good. So let's erase best game ever. We'll keep some of this though. Some of this is pretty high quality code, so. Okay. So let's get rid of this button. I don't think we need that one. So let's start with a canvas. So canvas is a really cool HTML element. Has anybody used it? Yes. Oh, a lot of people. Good. So it has different rendering contexts. So you can get a 2D context, which has its own API, and it's pretty simple to use. We're going to use that. And you can also get a 3D context and use WebGL, which is really, really cool. WebGL is fun because it lets you write all sorts of stuff that's really fast, and you have shaders, which are awesome. Okay, but anyway, so let's just put a canvas on here. And let's get this thing. Let's grab a ref to this, and we'll get a context. Get okay, and then let's go. If you see me making mistakes, shout them out so I don't feel wrecked. Okay, let's just see if this is working, see if our game is working so far. Boom. Okay, good. Man, I'm good. That was all from memory. Okay. So there's not much going on here, right? All we did was we just drew that green square. So this isn't really going to be anything interactive yet because this is just a single sequence of code. But we're going to put a game loop in. Every game that you play is basically like a while true loop. I mean, like you dig down to it, everything's going to have that. Okay, so it accepts some input, it's going to update the game state, and then it's going to render it all out. That's like every game in existence. Okay, so pretty simple when you think about it that way. But let's go ahead and let's update this. So let's do like, what's it called? Request animation frame. Is that right? Yeah, I think so. But I don't want this to be anonymous. Let's do like update. Okay. You guys can follow along too. If you have computers, you can type it out as I'm going. Frame. Okay. So this is undesirable for a couple of reasons. Our game logic at this point is going to be dependent on the frame rate of your computer. And there are a lot of ways you can handle it, but we're just going to write a crappy loop for now. And it's okay if it doesn't perform the same on everyone's computer. This code isn't destined for greatness or anything like that. So let's move our fill style into here. And let's just do something like, just to make sure it's working. And then be like, okay, is that gonna work? That's not a trick question. Gonna work? I don't know. Woo! Okay. Did you see that?
It grows.
Yeah. So bonus points for anyone who can tell me why it's growing.
Because you're incrementing I by 1 every cycle.
Yeah, that's good. So, but that's just the x value. The width and the height are constant. So why is it growing? Yeah, bam. Okay. So we never cleared out our canvas. So it's just drawing this little rectangle on top of itself again and again and again. And you can actually get some kind of cool effects. Here, I'll show you what kind of effect you can get. So let's get like, so we'll change the fill style again. And we'll do like a 0.1. 0, 0. Oh boy. I think this will work. Woo! So that's kind of cool because we have like, oh, you can't see it on the screen. Hang on. No, oh, wrong way. Sorry. Yeah, so that's kind of cool. So you kind of have a fade going, right? So we just draw like an alphaed out black, basically, on here. And so it's kind of cool because if you apply that to everything on your canvas, you can get some kind of, I don't know, kind of a cool effect for pretty cheap. So that's fun. Okay, anyway, so we have a square, but what kind of game do we want to make? Somebody just raise their hand. Or just shout it out. What do we want to make? Snake. Snake? No, that's too hard. Let's think easier. But we could do something like Pong. Snake wouldn't actually be that bad either. I was hoping someone would say like World of Warcraft. Okay, no. So that is a terrible idea. Okay, so a lot of times people, and that's a fun thing to make, right? Those games are really fun and they're really cool. But remember, like Zelda Breath of the Wild. Like 300 Japanese people were slaving away in a basement for like 20 years to make that game. Okay, so you don't want to shoot that high. All right, that's a little bit of an exaggeration, but not too much. So you want to, when you start making games, think of the simplest thing possible. So the button thing was, I think that was a good idea because that's so easy, right? Like that was the simplest game I could think of at the time. And that's good because then you can complete it and you can make it better from that point. It's better to have, I think anyway, it's better to have something little that you can polish and kind of evolve than try to make something big and totally fail and get depressed and then your hair starts falling out and you gain weight. I was just joking. That happened to me though. No. So let's make something like, sure, let's do Pong, okay? So I'm just going to create an object here. This is going to be our ball. And this is one thing I really like about JavaScript, is you can just throw this stuff together and it figures it out, which is amazing, right? I mean, like, you just create these objects and you can alter their prototypes, and I don't know, JavaScript is, I sound like I'm down on it, but I think it's an amazing language. It is the craziest thing, and these engines make it run fast. It's amazing. Okay, anyway. So let's get rid of I. We're not going to need that anymore. But let's go. I'm just going to give our. How about we give our ball a color? You know, let's. I don't know. These are hex values. So I mean, it's 0 to 255. I don't know what this is going to look like. Okay, but then we don't want to put this on 0, 0 anymore. We want to do ball.x, ball.y, and then we could even like give it a ball.width and a ball.height. Okay. Yeah, let's get fancy. Let's give it a size though. Ball is actually a bad name because this is a square as well. It's a rect. But, you know, whatever. Okay, let's see if this is... What? What's that? Wow. I don't even know what that was doing. Yeah, I know. Yeah! Okay, let's leave the console open from now on so we can see what's going on. Okay. And awesome. Okay. So that's cool. Okay, so when you make a game, normally you want your renderer just to reflect some state, right? Like we don't want to. Sometimes when you write web apps, you store like state in the DOM or do crazy things like that. But you really just want to have like some pure abstract state, game state, and then when your renderer runs, it looks at that state and it repaints the scene. Okay, if you don't follow that advice, you're going to end up in a lot of pain. So just that's a good way to go. I'm not really happy with this color. I'm not happy with this size either. That's a little better. Okay, you guys like this color? Somebody shout out a number.
That's a soothing one. Go with it.
Oh, okay. Okay. So now we have our ball, but in Pong, normally like it moves, right? And so let's just give it, we're going to do this kind of a crappy way. Normally you'd want to store like this in a vector or something, but we'll just give it like a speed x and a speed y. Okay, and then we're going to say, so this is our render, and then this is the update. So in update, we're actually going to perform all the calculations and do the logic that is going to affect the game state, and then we're going to render it out, right? So we'll want to do ball.x plus equals ball.speedx, and then we'll want to do that for y too. Okay, is that going to run? Let's try it. Woo! Okay, so that's kind of cool. Okay, but there's a problem with the game, right? The ball just flew off the screen and it never ends. And I mean, at this point, yeah, it's a bug, but if you think deeper about it, maybe there's some meaning behind it. I don't know. Why did he want to leave? Why isn't he coming back? I don't know. So, I mean, those are themes you might be able to work off of, right? And that's one of the things that's really fun about games, is it's completely open to interpretation. Now, that narrative you might need to help the user a little bit with. I don't think anybody's going to look at that and really figure it out. But I don't know. You can have fun with it. Okay, so we need to add some sort of collision, right? Because we don't want the ball to go off the screen, or at least certain parts of the screen we don't want the ball to be able to go off of. And if it does, we want something to happen. Like normally in Pong, if it goes off the bottom, then you increment the score or something like that, right? So let's just say if ball.x is less than 0, then we're just going to flip the ball speed. Okay? And then we're going to do this one in canvas.width. Now, when you go out and write a game, we're doing everything the hacky way right now. Okay, so I don't know. Just take that from what you will. In a real game, you're going to have a camera system, and your gameplay area isn't necessarily just the size of your canvas, and you might not even be working in pixels. But let's go ahead and see if this works. I'm going to drop this down a little bit though, so it doesn't just fly off the bottom. Okay, let's see if it works. I actually like that trail. That's kind of fun. So that's kind of cool, right? Okay, so now we actually have like an interactive simulate. Well, it's not interactive. Okay, I lied. We actually have some sort of simulation going on here, right? And there's one bug here, right? Like when it moves off the right side of the screen, it actually goes all the way off the screen before it reflects. Oh, of course you'd do that. Okay, so that's undesirable. It moves kind of slow too. I don't like the gameplay. The other thing is our canvas is kind of small. So let's just do width. Let's do view width. Ooh, that is not what we wanted. Sorry. Okay, so we probably want to change it here. That was scaling our canvas. That's why I bailed out of that. And that's not something you want. Okay, so hopefully it'll cover the whole screen now. Boop. Can I have like a designated boop maker? Someone that can make sounds? Yeah, there we go. Thanks, guys. Okay, so okay, good. Okay, so this is good. This is actually turning into something now. So now we need to, let's do the y reflection now. So if it's less than 0, and the coordinate system, positive y is down on a canvas. So you have to flip those. Okay. No. Let's look at this. Here, let's speed this up a little bit too. Let's see. Get it going a little bit faster. Make sure we can actually. Thank you. What? Who's making that? Oh, you're awesome. Okay. Okay, so we have a ball bouncing around, and that's interesting. But what do we want to do with this ball now? But I don't like pawing that much. Let's think of something else to do it. What if we have to chase the ball? We could do that. So let's make a character. Okay. So const dude. That'll be our player character, okay? Okay. And we'll want to have this to have also have a size. I guess we could call it player, so I'm not sexist. Okay. So let's do this. I'm going to give it like 20 size. What's that? Thank you. So we got a player, and let's say make like a win condition. When the player touches the ball, you win.
Or if the ball hits, if you lose, you should touch the ball.
Well, that's a better idea. Yeah, let's do it so if the ball touches the user, then you lose. Okay, and so now we only have one ball, so this might get boring, but let's spice it up later and maybe add multiple balls or something. So now we need to come up with a collision system because these things actually need to interact. And there are a couple of cheap ways to do this. So rectangular collision is pretty easy to handle. And when you want to collide rectangles, it's actually easier to tell if they're not colliding than if they are. So that's a good way to handle it. Another really easy way to do it is just circle collision, right? Like you just figure out the distance between the two things, and then if it's shorter than x, you say they collided. So maybe we'll go with that one, okay? What's that? You're like level 50. Why are you listening to me? No, no, that's a good point. So tunneling is when we're just stepping through these frames, right? And so if we had something moving really fast, we have a wall or something, we have a bullet, and it's moving really fast, but it's moving in discrete amounts. You know, it might appear on one side of the wall and then on the other side of the wall. And when we run our collision detection right here as a step and right here as a step, so we never detect that it actually hit the wall. That's what tunneling is. But let's not worry about it right now, okay? So
the skills that I use when I play video games. So I shoot the enemy and doesn't die. That's exactly what's happening.
Yeah.
That's exactly what I do.
Okay. So let's do like ball.x minus, what did I name it? Player? Yeah, player.x. Let's just say if we're actually going to use an even crappier way than I described earlier. Let's just do it this way. So let's just see if they're close to each other on the x and the y. Okay. Is this right? I think this will work. Good. This isn't going to be like super fantastic collision, but we have like 7 more minutes to write our game. So let's just run with it. And let's just do this. Hit. Okay. Because window.alert is like the worst user experience ever. So what? Okay. So tell me why this is happening. Oh, good. You guys are smart. Okay. Yeah, because they just start in the same spot, so you instantly lose. Sigh. Let's try that. Oh my gosh. Okay. Okay, and so we have another problem too. Yeah, we never actually rendered the player either. But it would work. I don't actually know how long it's going to take to hit the player, though. It might take them a while. That was good, though, that we had that bug, though, because we actually found out that our collision... Oh, that was a little off. We actually found out our collision detection was working, which is kind of fun. Woo! Okay. Yay, we lost. Okay. So let's go ahead and render our player. So this is the ball. Player. we have a really crappy rendering system, so let's just
Make another box.
thing. Okay. Okay. So let's just change ball. Now we can get rid of all this stuff, but I don't think player actually has a color. So let's give the player a color. Oh, we got to get rid of this alert. Oh my gosh. Hold on. That is terrible. Oh, come on. Okay. So that's good. So we got our player. I don't like that color on the player though. Hold on. Let's make it more obnoxiously red. Make it more whatever. Okay. So now we have our player rendered, but now we need our player to move. But computers are really cool because they have these keyboards attached to them, and we can use that for input. So let's go ahead and do like is it on window? Window.event listener key down, or is it on body? Is it document.body? All right, let's just log it out. Let's see if it works. I don't see anything. Oh, there it is. Okay, good. So we got our key down event. And so we're actually going to have an event in here. Let's just let's log that out. Okay, cool. So that's good. So now we can actually, hold on. We can actually listen for user input. Arrow left, arrow right, arrow down, arrow up. So those are the ones we want to listen for. Let's see if I can copy these in here. Good, so we got all these. So we're probably going to do like a switch on here. Event.key. Let's move these guys in there. Okay, and let's just alter the player's X and Y directly. Probably the right way to do this would be give the player some velocity, and then when you had this key held down, you wouldn't want to do it on the actual key down event. But when you had that held down, you'd want to set their velocity, and then there's going to be a friction on it or something, slow them down. So left is going to be minus, right is plus, down is going to be minus. Okay. What's that?
Your Y is reverse. You got an arrow down.
No, that'll be right. Oh, no, it won't. You're right. Yep, you're right. Good catch. Okay, let's see if this will work. Oh, yeah. Okay. So, yeah, this is pretty terrible. Okay, so, oh, what? It didn't even work. Okay. That's terrible. Oh yeah, okay, that's right. So yeah, so that's a feature. Okay, so that's kind of fun. What you'd probably want to do though is you just want to save off some variable like is the key down, and then in your update loop you just check that. Okay, instead of actually responding to this key down event, that's not going to be a good way to do that. So with this game, this is pretty bad, right? And it's probably more challenging with how fast it moves to try to hit it than it is to avoid it. But let's do one more thing.
We have like 15 of them bouncing around.
Yeah. Let's do it. Okay, yeah, we can crank up the speed, and Are you ready to have your mind blown? Okay, so, okay. And I'm just going to put 1 in here for now, but let's go nuts later. Okay, and we'll do balls.push. Okay. That was not planned. Okay. So let's go ahead and add this ball in here, but let's randomize a couple of these things.
Otherwise, they're all on top of each other.
Yeah, and we don't want like a pile of balls. Okay. Yeah, sure, what the heck. These template strings are like the best thing to happen to JavaScript. I'm so happy. Let's throw this on a floor too, though. Okay, that'll randomize it a little bit. Okay, so we got all these balls, but that totally broke our update loop, so let's change that. So we'll do balls.for each ball. We need to hoist this up here too, huh? Let's just do this. Let's do player.dead equals true. Or no, player alive. Okay, and then we'll do if player.alive. Oh, no. It's in there. Well, that's okay. We can just say if thing.alive. Okay, but that means both of these things need to be alive now. Okay. Is that good? Did I miss anything? Fix the render loop? Yeah, you're right. So let's just spread our balls. There. Okay. That'll work, right? Okay. I hope. That did not work. What's going on?
You only set the 4 to 1 on the first.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, I was expecting balls everywhere. Okay, so we set it 1.
You said it 1 to test it.
That's right. Oh, so it is working. Okay, perfect. Good work. Okay. But it could be, so maybe we leveled up and we got 2 balls now. So that's kind of fun. And they change color. The other thing about JavaScript, like random, you can't seed it, which is a huge bummer. So it's changed every time. When you make a game, it's really nice to either pull in a random lib that you can seed, so you can like reproduce levels and things like that, or just write your own. It's not that hard if you just copy an algorithm. Okay, so 2, 3. That could be good. Oh, hold on. Let's just go nuts for a second. So that's fine. Okay, so that's a broken game, but right? Okay, but let's do one more thing. Let's just add more balls as we play. So we'll just do this every second or something. Okay, so when you're writing code for a company or something like that, the best thing you can do is just copy chunks of code and paste them elsewhere. It's efficient. Anyway. Yes. And so this is kind of cool. So now we actually have like a skill curve in the game, right? Oh, and I died. Okay. So there's some rules you're breaking, like the ball can just spawn right on top of the user. Users don't like it when you're not fair to them, usually. So you might want to watch out for that. But yeah. So that's kind of interesting because now we actually have a difficulty progression happening. So that's fun, and this is something we can just tweak, right? We can push our balls as fast as we want, right? So it gets kind of, I don't know, kind of fun. So that's about all the time we have. But I just want to stress that like there's no possible way in an hour that you can really cover game development, right? It's a huge topic. There are engines, frameworks, lots of strategies for structuring your code, one of which we broke building this game. But it's something that you can do with the skills you have now. It can be a lot of fun, and it can be really interesting to do. I bet you we can get... yeah. I bet we can get a lot of these things on here. And Canvas 2D it's not like the zippiest thing you can use, but it's not really a slouch either. You can probably draw thousands of things on here at 60 frames a second. Okay, if you start going over that, you might run into issues. But yeah, if you want to build games, just do it. Like, just start coding games. Don't worry if you're doing it like the right way or something like that. If you're scared of Canvas 2D or something, you could use React, whatever you want. The renderer is almost kind of irrelevant. Just go ahead and make something, have fun doing it, and then force your spouse to play this terrible game you played. Just go out there and do it. It's a lot of fun. And that's it. I'm out of material. Who's in charge? I'm done. Okay.
I think the player's not going to survive that level.
No, he's dead.